Other than that, we're going to follow up with an email with maybe contact info or whatever information Lisa wants to send to everyone who's registered tonight. I think that's it. So I will go ahead and introduce Lisa here. So let's get it. Cover Home Repairs Volunteer Coordinator, Lisa Rickey, has a background in sustainable energy and energy efficiency. Over the last 2 years, she has served as volunteer coordinator for the nonprofit. Last year, she designed a comprehensive DIY weatherization program that she is here to talk about. So I think that's it for me. And if you want to go ahead, Lisa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And can everybody hear me? Good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So thanks so much for coming out. This is basically a weatherization workshop, and I'm going to try not to present too much information, but also be really thorough and be able to provide details for those who want the details. So first and foremost, I think there's a good turnout tonight, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Cover Home Repair. I'm sure some of you are very familiar. And for those who are not, Cover Home Repair's headquarters is in downtown White River Junction. Since 1998, we've been providing urgent home repairs for low-income residents in the greater Upper Valley. Basically, we have a small team of project leaders who go out every week to provide some of the most common services are installing new roofs and roof repair, building brand new ADA wheelchair access ramps and other repairs so that people can go in and out of their homes safely. Other urgent home repairs, a lot of times are chosen by priority, how urgent. In the weatherization season, which is approximately November through February, we would normally go into homes for those who've applied for our services, and we would provide weatherization services, installing window kits, repairing doors, and a whole lot of other things that we're going to go over tonight. What I'm presenting to you is something that you all can get access to the things I'm showing you. You can get our weatherization worksheet through email, probably through Ginevra. And now I'm going to show you our website, which is another great resource. I'm not sure if I'm sharing my screen right. Here we go. So right here at www.coverhomerepair.org. Here's our homepage. You can learn more about us. And if you scroll to the right for home repair and weatherization, we have this great page, Weatherizing Your Home. And you'll see that it mentions our weatherization program for those who want to apply for it. This year, we're not really doing any till, say, December. And as far as providing materials for this DIY program, same thing. For low-income homeowners, we can provide some of these materials for free if you want to apply. So I just wanted to point out that on our website, there's videos related to a lot of these things I'm going to talk about tonight. Just about anything you can think of is here on our website. And basically the goal here is to let you all know that there's a lot more to do other than putting up window kits. It makes a big difference and you can do it yourself. Don't be intimidated. So we are going to go through some of those things right now. So like I said, besides windows, I want to really emphasize, if you might not be aware, where walls meet the floor or the ceiling, that's one interesting place that cold air can get into. The electrical outlets that are on an exterior wall, your fireplace, your attic, we're going to take a closer look at these things. So there's a lot of places that are all very simple little things, but it's several little things. So first and foremost, if you don't know, the average home has enough air leakage to add up to a 2-foot square hole. That's equivalent to having a window wide open. If you can try and do all these little things we're going to go over, we have estimated over and over that a weatherization program like this can easily save like $100 a month. So when it comes to windows, besides window kits, don't forget that a lot of air leaks on the trim of the windows, and you can seal that with either caulk or rope caulk, which is really easy to use without a caulk gun. And in addition to the frame of your windows, especially on these old homes here in Vermont and New Hampshire, yes, window kits, big time. They make a huge difference. As you can see, it says,
oh, wait, Lisa, I just realized
yeah.
You're not sharing a presentation. You're still on the website. And I didn't realize you were trying to share the presentation.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So
you probably have to stop and then reshare the new window.
yeah.
Yeah, isn't Zoom fun?
Yeah, it is. Okay, share screen and there. Yeah. I was
got it.
Pointing on my presentation here. So again, here's a look at how many other things besides windows can have air leakage, and it really adds up to a lot of wasted energy. So the average home has enough air leakage to go out a whole window here. When it comes to your windows, besides the window kits, don't forget to caulk around the frame. And it's estimated the majority of heat loss is through those windows. So window kits will in fact save you money. And one thing that Cover wants to point out is that if you're interested in a heavy duty window kit that you could even reuse year after year, we do sell them in our store in downtown White River Junction. So the disposable kits you get at Home Depot and other stores that are kind of like saran wrap is better than nothing. But if you're interested in something a little beefier, we carry Tizol kits, which have like a track and a spline. And the clear plastic is really heavy duty and you could reuse it year after year. But not everybody has an easy time with it. It takes patience, and that's why we would install these typically when it's safe to go inside homes. And here's some other volunteers putting these window kits together. Aside from windows, the next biggest hole in your home is your doors. So don't forget weather strip and door sweeps. If you want to go to the store and get weather strips, just keep in mind that it comes in a lot of different sizes. So I recommend you measure the gap so you get the right size weather strip, and it will make a huge difference. Don't forget, you can also weather strip your attic hatch. A lot of heat is lost there. And here we had a volunteer create a seal for a fireplace in one of the homes. So, you know, you can close the flue, but if you can cut rigid foam to size, it really adds up. Don't forget to look under sinks or anywhere there's a penetration into the home, such as your clothes dryer vent. A lot of water pipes come through the floor. And just one can of great stuff will do, but try to use it all at once because they never last more than a day. Now this is surprising, but the exterior walls of your home will let a lot of cold air into the outlets. These outlet seals or insulators, they usually are sold in like 10 to 20 packs for like $3 a box. When you access your outlet, you can be shocked right here. So don't touch inside, please. Also, don't forget to vacuum out your air ducts. it can put a lot of pressure on your ducts, and you could get you can get cracks in the air ducts, but also your heater will run more efficiently. When it comes to framed homes, these rim joists in your basement can really let out a lot of cold air also. And so insulating it, whether it's rigid foam cut to size, or your fiberglass foam, which is much easier to work with, it's highly recommended. Once cover goes back out to do home repair projects and weatherization projects inside homes, we do recruit volunteers to go out on weatherizations with us, so you could take a stab at using any of these things I'm sharing, or get an idea of how to insulate in the basement come later this winter. Also, if you have any basement windows, we usually do, if you cut rigid foam to size, you can either tight fit it, but usually it's best to actually spray foam around the frame of your windows in your rim joists in the basement. While you're down in the basement, wave your hand by the air ducts and feel for warm air. Go down there with a roll of duct tape. That duct tape can get loose over time, and you don't want to waste heat in that way. And again, if you go to our website, you can scroll through this same list of things and then some, with better videos to walk you through. You know, I picked them out. Also, don't forget, and this is mentioned on our weatherization page, if you have a hot water heater that's older than 10 years old and you don't want to replace it, you may want to wrap it in a hot water heater blanket. And the water pipes going to and from your hot water heater, it's usually best to have those insulated. So these are all covered on our website, www.coverhomerepair.org. And then you want to click on home repair and weatherization, and you can get information. Another thing that we can provide is our weatherization worksheet. We have one for mobile homes and one for framed homes. And that way you can kind of go home and go down the list. And it's just really kind of covers everything. If that's a system that works for you, every little bit makes a big difference. Again, we do all these things when we go out in the community to weatherize homes for folks, and we check back with them and ask about savings and stuff. And you know, every house is different, but it seems like an average of like $100 a season, savings over the years, depending. So that went a little faster than I had planned. I'm so happy to answer any questions. If you want to get into the nitty gritty, any specific questions, that I'm ready for you.
Yeah, thanks for running through that, Lisa. I also wanted to give, I know we have Helen Hong on here as well, the director. So I did want to make sure that you didn't want to add anything. Helen,
Definitely.
maybe she hopped off as well.
No.
Or no, there she is.
I missed the whole Zoom during the pandemic phase because I was actually taking a break from working, and so I'm relatively new to Zoom, but thank you. No, I thought Lisa did a fantastic job, and she is clearly very knowledgeable about this area. So
Yeah, I did as well. And I think that we're well, I mean, yeah, it's great if we can open it up to questions. Happy to do that. I want to make a quick plug for your store though, because Cover has a fantastic store in White River Junction. And I actually went this past weekend and got a really nice wood filing cabinet that I'm pretty obsessed with so far. But in terms of like building materials, I'm probably one of you two can speak more to this. If you're kind of trying to budget when doing home improvement, that's a good place to look.
Yeah, so the cover store gets new donations every day. If you have tools, home furnishings, or building materials that you'd like to donate somewhere, feel free to bring it by. We're open 7 days a week. Yes, we do sell building materials. You never know what you'll see one day. If you come in the next day, there'll be new stuff. So yes, building materials, tools, large appliances, kitchen appliances, sinks, chairs, lighting fixtures. It's really, really cool. It's fun. It's a fun place. If you're in downtown White River, just pop in and check it out for sure. And they're open every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays 10 to 3.
Yeah, and I would just add, the store does request that folks call ahead of time or email for donations, just because they have guidelines on what types of materials they will accept. They are also, if you are on Facebook but not yet following Cover, we are trying to have the store post items daily or every other day so that you can see what's coming in. But items do tend to go quickly. So if you come in and you're thinking about it, oftentimes by the next day it will be gone, just to give you a sense of that.
And that's what makes it really fun. So the store actually raises about 30% of the funds that we need to go out every week and do the urgent home repairs for the material costs. There are a few questions in the chat.
Yeah.
The first one I saw was a really good question regarding.
Can I just say, before we dig into the specifics, just one other thing, Lisa, that you alluded to is the home repair sites are a great way to become comfortable with projects outside of your home. And there are weatherization projects that will be scheduled at the end of the year. And it's just a nice way to feel comfortable with the techniques. So we have a website and there's a tab for volunteering, and it's quite user-friendly. So
yeah, the home repair team goes out usually on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And if you just kind of want to get out, give back to the community, do something different, you can sign up that way, or you can contact the office if you have questions. And like I said, come December, we'll probably be going out to do weatherizations in homes. The majority of them are usually mobile homes. And for those of you who probably live in framed homes, it's a little different. So again, try to get a copy of the worksheet that we can send to you by PDF. And that'll just kind of make sure you don't forget anything. And then anything you see on the worksheet that you want to revisit, you can go to the website and watch a video. So back to the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to check out that first one here from, looks like Teresa? Do hot water heaters need a blanket?
So I really don't think so, because I've never heard it in conversation working with other people who do energy efficiency and stuff. I will just plug for heat pumps in general that they're awesome, and I'm glad you have one. But the rule of thumb when it comes to insulating the hot water heaters is the older ones are really inefficient. And so anything you can do to make them a little more efficient, like wrapping it in a blanket. But I really don't, I've never asked myself that question, nor has it ever come up in any conversations. So I'm not sure, and there's a lot of other variables too. I don't know if those are usually kept in the basement as well, or how big they are or what have you. So I'm not really sure.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Oh, Michael, is that you?
Yeah.
Something was really echoey for a second there. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I had a follow-up though. I was just curious because you said that if a water heater was over 10 years old, you typically recommend insulation. If it's
Yeah.
less than 10 years, would you still do that? Or is it kind of,
Well, just keep in mind that hot water heater blankets are about $25 to $35. And for those who've really like scrutinized the savings, it's for the newer ones, the savings is so small that you might not even make back that $25. But when it comes to the older ones, that it does pay for itself.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question, if you're ready
Yeah.
for it. If we weatherize our homes and make them fairly airtight, then should we just open the windows when we want fresh air?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And personally, I would say, right, go ahead, make your house as airtight as you think that you can. And if you're feeling stuffy, let in some fresh air. And I still think that it would be the best way to go as far as managing the efficiency, because even if you get it really, really tight, the house still breathes. There's always air coming and going. And then if you get stuffy, yeah, just let in some fresh air. But at least you have control of when you want the windows open, as opposed to having inefficient windows that are letting too much heat out when you don't want it to.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That was, oh, yeah, but yeah, that was, I had someone say that to me when I was talking to them about weatherization, that they're worried their house would become too tight and somehow like start molding or something, but it sounds like that's not really a concern.
Yeah, and some houses do get a lot of condensation in the winter depending on their heat systems, but even if they're really drafty, the condensation still happens. And the goal is to try to run your heat really efficiently.
All right, should I do the next question?
Yeah.
What would be the first 3 top things to focus on when weatherizing most homes?
Yeah, that is such a great question to go back and talk about, because I flew through the list, and really when you measure the improvement and all those other little things, they're minor. But windows and doors, definitely take the time to do it right. Windows, I think, are a lot easier, but again, it's more than window kits. That helps, but especially in the old housing stock here and even new homes, the way that they're built, there are so many seams. There's so many different spots and opportunities for air to leak in. So get a tube of caulk or some, there's like a caulk putty, and inspect anything that's a type of seam on the framing, on where the glass meets the, there's just so many places that air can get in. So yeah, just use caulk on the frame primarily, rope putty if you've got those old windows that have a big old gap. Sometimes I've used white duct tape that blended in beautifully and did a really good job. So windows always have a ton of leakage. Doors, again, there's like a million kinds of weather strip out there. There's really tiny ones, there's really fat ones, and neither one of those will do you any good if that's not the size gap you're trying to seal. So another thing to keep in mind to do doors correctly is a gap here versus the top versus the side versus the bottom. These are all different types of gaps, because you might need to improve something on the floor threshold. Use a door sweep. There's also something called a door shoe, where you don't have to screw anything in. They're perfect for really large gaps and certain width doors, but I would stick with some sort of a door sweep that you screw in place, because those door shoes can sometimes be difficult to put on if that's not the right thing. So the door sweeps to the bottom, peel and stick weather strip for the top and the sides, or sometimes it needs a little carpentry. So just inspect. There's going to be different sizes of gaps, a skinny one on the top and a fat one on the side. So just be sure that you get the right thickness for your door or doors. And a third thing, well, it depends on the home. If you live in a mobile home, now we're doing insulated skirting around the belly of the home. And that seems to be really, really helpful. I would say the last thing for a framed home is go down to the basement and do the box sills for sure. It's really amazing. It's basically where the wall meets the floor and the basement begins, and it's one big seam, and it's unbelievable how much air is coming and going where the house meets the floor.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa.
Absolutely.
So the next question is, can you describe, this is an interesting question about process. Can you describe how to organize and train volunteers and prepare them to enter homes? Efficiency Vermont discouraged me from trying this as a local energy committee.
Is that regarding the pandemic, right?
It sounds like it.
Yeah. So yeah, this weatherization worksheet that you can get, and these videos and this whole weatherization page we've added to our website, is a response to the fact that last winter, we decided we would not go into homes to do our services. And so we've kind of empowered the community to have all the tools they need to do it themselves. And I think that went really well last winter. And now winter's approaching this year, and we're revisiting the question again. So one of the policies we're enforcing, as far as I'm aware, and sometimes these things kind of change depending week after week, month after month, but we don't want any volunteers going into homes unless they've been vaccinated, and masks are always required. So pretty much all year, we've only been doing outdoor projects and requiring that everybody wear a mask. Now that we're considering going inside homes, we want the minimum number of volunteers. Everybody needs to wear a mask, and we are asking that volunteers who have not been vaccinated do not participate. Now, I'm not sure if that exactly answered the question, but that's some of what Cover's been working on.
Yeah, that's really cool. I saw that he posted an update in the chat at the bottom that the concern is more about, it sounds like, volunteers finding things they aren't prepared for in a home, perhaps. So I know you guys have a structure where there's like a leader that works.
So when it comes to weatherizing a home with Cover Home Repair, it's really fun because we set up a blower door. A blower door is a specific tool that goes into a doorway. A fan kicks on and it pressurizes the home in a way that any vulnerable areas, anywhere that cold air is penetrating, will become more apparent. So we turn on the blower door, and then we walk around the home and we feel for cold air pulling in, because we've created this vacuum in the home. And once we make note of some spots other than the spots we would have done anyways, then, usually it's just a matter of patching with some caulk or some spray foam. I'd say some people have difficulty with the Tizol window kits that we install. I say it just takes patience. So if you're out on a weatherization project, you want to practice hanging one of those window kits up, we'll supervise you and show you the tricks so that it doesn't get frustrating. It helps to have one other person assist. But if anyone has ever built their own window screen, it's exactly like that. So you'll just peel and stick a plastic back around the window frame. Just rest some heavy duty plastic over that track that you just installed, and then you have to press spine into the track. And it's difficult to do with your thumb, but it's easy to do just tapping with a little hammer.
I would just add.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Helen.
Well, I would just add to Jonathan's comments. So about, it sounds like a group of volunteers, that for home repair projects in our summertime, it's not uncommon for groups to come for team building. So members of the bank, Home Depot, for instance, and with weatherization, it's a little trickier because the homes are smaller, tend to be smaller when we're going to mobile homes, and we don't need as many volunteers. But a thought, Jonathan, was if you could find a a stick-built home perhaps that is larger and could accommodate 6 to 10 volunteers or however many you were thinking, we could try to coordinate that with a cover weatherization project and have cover come and weatherize that home using your volunteers. For us, though, we have income guidelines. And so as long as the homeowner is within our guidelines, more or less, we can do that as a joint project. And that could be a nice way to do on-the-job training for your volunteers.
Yeah, I agree. So the mobile home projects make a big difference, but we don't usually need many volunteers. And then when we do have applicants with a large framed home, those are really great for groups. And you can get in touch with the volunteer coordinator to figure out when we might be scheduling a framed home this winter. I am the volunteer coordinator, and there's an interim coordinator in place for the fall, but we won't be doing weatherizations for a few months anyways.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
I don't know whose turn it is, Michael.
I
But,
know.
do you want to go?
I'll just go. Do you recommend installing storm windows?
Yeah, you know, adding another layer of windows is kind of like going to be the first line of defense for keeping cold air out. I think they're great, and especially if you have an older home. So if you have new windows, maybe not. If your windows that are already there are nice and tight, not so much. But if you have an old home that probably lets a lot of cold air in through old windows, then I think storm windows would be great if you can afford it. Cover has used windows, sometimes brand new ones, at half price.
I know last year there were weatherization materials available to people. What weatherization kit materials can cover give or send to people this year?
Yes. So I'm going to share my screen again and give you a peek at the worksheet. And this worksheet reflects the things that we can provide. So if you're eligible for our services, if you're low income, which is approximately 180% of the federal income average, we could potentially put a custom kit together for you at no cost. If you're over the income limit, and when we're ready to start putting these kits together, we can provide a lot of these materials at approximately 75% of the cost. Everything with the exception of the Tizol kits are available at many stores. These heavy duty window kits, if you want that kind, you can buy them at Cover for a pretty great price. I think they're somewhere around 12 or more new, but we sell them for 8 and 10 depending on the size you want. So the question was, what weatherization materials can we provide? This is more specifically for folks who are applying for free materials or a weatherization service. So window kits, weather strip or door sweeps. We will go around with spray foam anywhere there's a large hole that needs to be sealed. We'll do the electrical outlets. If there's an attic hatch, we might put a block of insulation, add to the door of your attic hatch. And we'll usually open up the heat vents and make sure that there's no, like, you can like look down into a heat vent and sometimes see a damage on the duct and your heat's just blowing around in your basement or something like that, or under the house. So we'll look for that, and we'll make sure your heat isn't working harder than it needs to if anything has fallen down in the vents. And if we are working on a framed home, we'll do the I keep calling them rim joists. That doesn't sound right. The box sills in the basement. This was done by a cover staff 2 years ago as well. And we'll replace incandescent bulbs with LEDs. So that's basically what cover does for weatherizations when we're helping somebody do it at their home, or if you want to submit the DIY worksheet later in the season, we could put a kit together for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about insulating skirting around the belly of a mobile home?
Yes. So the mobile homes are supposed to have vinyl skirting, which kind of keeps critters from crawling around. It makes it aesthetically pleasing, but just a thin vinyl skirting, which they typically don't last very long. They're easily damaged. It's really not providing insulation in one of the largest parts of your home. So the whole underbelly of a mobile home is quite vulnerable, and there are pipes going through the underbelly. Their critters do like to go in and hang out and damage. So for certain mobile homes, typically when we can get the funding, we'll actually build what looks a lot like studs when you're framing a wall for a home. We'll frame 2x4s around the sides of the mobile home first, so that we can then put in some rigid foam and then the vinyl skirting. So where there's normally just a thin layer of vinyl and then a bunch of open space, we're trying to do as many insulated skirting projects as we can, because these are low-income people who need all the help they can get, and we're thinking that this is really making a big difference on their heating bill.
And I would just add that this is a really exciting pilot project that we are partnering with Vital Communities on. And in addition to the insulated skirting, we are also doing insulated roofing. And I think we recently just did a mobile home in Woodstock, and we are starting to put sensors into the underbelly, that cavity space, to measure humidity and temperature, to make sure there aren't any unintended consequences with moisture buildup, but also to see how well the insulated skirting is performing in terms of reducing that cold air from coming in. So this is really our first year rolling that program out, and depending on what the data will show, and we're pretty optimistic that it will make a difference, we hope to roll it out even more.
That's great.
It's exciting, yes.
I volunteered on the insulated one of those days in Woodstock for that mobile home, and it was such a cool process. I don't know if you're still doing it right now, but if folks can, I recommend jumping on a volunteer day.
I think there might still be 1 or 2 projects left for this year.
It was pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, we still have home repair projects going on into November. We have a few roofs, a few ramps, maybe insulated skirting, but they're almost full. But if you go to coverhomerepair.org and then click on volunteer, you can see where we're still recruiting volunteers. It'll show the town and the project type. Also the website and our Facebook page, you could see photos of past projects, and that'll give you a pretty good sense of what these things look like.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm seeing someone's confused. Where exactly can one find the weatherization checklist?
Yeah, that is a little confusing. So if you click on the home repair and weatherization tab, and then it drops to weatherization tips, that's where you can get information to walk you through your own weatherization. If you want the PDF, what we call worksheet, so you have a printed copy in hand, you can walk around and write measurements as you inspect your home, we can send you that PDF by email. Just put in a request to Ginevra, and we'll send that to you.
Yeah, I can send out your email to everyone who's registered, Lisa, if you want, and then folks can reach out to you.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in volunteering or runs into some weatherization troubleshooting questions, you can send me an email.
Lisa, I also wonder if you can send the PDF to either me or to Ginevra, and then Ginevra can send it out to the entire group.
She has
just
it.
She has it?
I have the one for framed homes. I don't know if I have the one
Correct.
for mobile homes.
That's correct. I will dig up the mobile home one in case we have any mobile homes.
Great.
Yeah. I was just saying Lisa's on a leave of absence and was generous enough to come to tonight's workshop, but we are trying to keep her off the job site as much as possible. So I'm happy to fill in as needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the weatherization checklist isn't really downloadable online. We'll send you all a PDF. Forgot what else. Yeah.
That sounds great. I think we don't have any other questions unless, did we miss anything, Michael, that you said that you noticed?
No, just a lot of thank yous and
Yeah, people have.
That sounds like it. Yeah.
Also, if any of you are in White River and want to stop by Cover, I mean, personally, if I had a PDF, I wouldn't have a printer to print it on. You can get the worksheets at Cover as well. You may have to hunt somebody down, but we'll figure it out.
I'm not sure I know where it is, but I will find it.
We'll figure it out. You just gotta ask a couple of different people. We'll figure it out.
That's great. Well, thank you, Lisa.
Get
And
there.
Helen. That was great.
Yes.
You've inspired someone to get some weather stripping for their doors and windows.
Good for you.
Well, yeah, thank you both, Helen and Lisa, for coming on and for, I guess, breaking your leave of absence. It's very much appreciated in this kind of weatherization month in Vermont. Yeah, I don't have anything to add. Any last thoughts from either of you?
I'd like to thank everyone else for coming out too. You know, it's the right thing to do, and we're happy we can help.
Well, thank you. All righty. Well, everyone have a good night. I'll send out an email to follow up with a recording of the event. So
Perfect.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Night.